day behind you, good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk at the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk at the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk at the tavern. Music, medicine, then some.
Ew.
The talk at
Ew.
the tavern.
I think my cat put his asshole on my pipe.
Here we go.
Oh, new flavor tobacco.
Okay, guys, and welcome to the topic of nudism and naturalism, which we'll get to in just a second. Look at that. There's the viewers. There's Pussy Elizabeth chiming in with her pussy, or something like that. So, I am the host, Travis Sivart, and I am here with my hetero life mate, Ed Summers.
What's up, people? Sorry we was running a little late. I forgot to get dressed, and I had to run and get dressed real quick before we got on the show.
You know, I think we're allowed to show man nipples on the show now, which, by the way, I'm kind of like letting Ed lead the topic of naturalism and nudism. Ed, you got the chat up so you're seeing what people are saying to you? Or do you need me to let you know when people say stuff and read
Nice,
it?
Kevin. What's up? Hey, Trent. How you doing? No, I got the chat up. I
Okay.
can see. And Kevin's flashing his cock already.
He is. Elizabeth showed her pussy. Kevin whipped out his cock. It's amazing. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to read a comment. Just finished rereading Dune. Dry as the fucking desert it's set in. Got the final trilogy of Robin Hobbs fits, which I have not read that, so fits the full series. Free my nipples and the rest will follow.
Yeah, sure. I can't do that. I got to do the full Monty or nothing.
Well, you can do the full Monty. You just can't show the full Monty on the camera.
If
But
I
you
just free my nipples, I feel half naked.
Okay,
And
can you do dick in a box?
It depends on who she is.
Okay, now here's the first point where I'm going to direct us, and it will not remove that damn Skype stuff from your Full Monty is a movie, which the Full Monty is, Trin, to explain this to you, Full Monty is slang for showing it all. Usually applied with male strippers more than female strippers, but any strippers, it's basically bearing it all instead of just showing a G-string or what have you. What are we going to find a box that big at this time of night? Gee, I don't know, brain.
It's called a coffin.
It's called a coffin?
Yeah, that's the only box big enough. Or maybe one of those shipping connexes. I don't know.
Don't put your penis in coffins, Ed.
Okay.
That's a no.
That's a different show, isn't it?
Really? And when was the last time you put your dick in a big black box anyway?
That's a different show, too.
That is. Okay, so what we're saying here is something we want folks to realize. Nudism and naturalism is not about sex. We're definitely going to make us some dick jokes on here. That shit's going to happen. But being au natural is not about getting laid, procreation, or checking out some titties. Not that you can't have any of those things happen from this, but that is not the main goal or point of... Yeah, well, I know Elizabeth. Elizabeth says no one's naked. Oh, phooey. Okay,
Well,
cat.
yeah.
There's my pussy on the screen. I showed
There-
everybody
yeah.
my pussy. Both of them. Well, two
I
of
think
them.
mine just went to bed.
Did it? She doing okay?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I'm going to try to... Hold on a second. I'm going to mess up Ed's screen and try to get rid of the Skype emotes here. So, see? Now Elizabeth is naked and all alone. Well, it's horrible how... It's not normal for one of those to lead to the other. Quite the opposite. There we go. We got rid of it. Wait right there, Elizabeth. Okay. So, Ed... Do you want to go ahead and define naturalism, nudism, and then the difference between the two?
You know, I think we probably we did this episode before, and I'm not really sure what I gave as a definition before. For me, there is no difference between the two.
Uh-huh.
Some people feel like naturism is the close contact with nature.
Hold on. Is it
Therefore,
naturism instead of naturalism?
naturism.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Naturalism or a naturalism is anything that has to do with nature, not necessarily nudity.
So, sex
Naturism
with a
is,
mule or something.
oh no, the study of nature,
Oh, I'm
Travis.
sorry. Watching somebody else have sex with a mule or something.
A naturalist is a scientist. Naturists say we do it in the interest of not necessarily science because we just like to look. No, that's not true. But it is interesting what you said before. It's not about, you said it's not about looking at dicks or whatever. We had a friend. I've been a naturist now for about 30 years.
And Ed and I have attended events together. Actually, I don't know if I should put plural on there. Was there more? There might have been more than one.
I believe there probably was more than
But
one.
anyhow, it's been a bit. Go on.
I've only been a social nudist, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Probably for about 20 of those years. But I had a friend. She always wanted to go to a nudist resort with my wife and I, but she was afraid to because she was afraid she would look. It's like, it's okay to look, just don't. Oh my God, what is that?
And I have a story relating to looking when you're done with
Oh,
yours. I don't want to cut
please.
you off.
Oh, and that's it. She's like, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, but I'm just afraid I'm going to look. And you're going to look. There's nothing wrong with looking.
Right.
Just don't.
Yeah, there's a difference. It just like flirting and creeping. There's a difference between looking and creeping. And I remember the first time I did, and Trin, we're going to cover social nudism in a little bit. We're going to get back to that. We want to cover the basics first before we kind of branch out in that sort of stuff. So bear with us. I remember my first experience. It was a roommate and his girlfriend. And by the way, she was a cutie. I actually went to her with her to teen dance clubs when we were still in high school together. So at this point in time, we were 19 or whatever, all of us living together in a hotel that his mother ran. And we decided we wanted to do nudism, which, by the way, naturism, naturalism didn't exist then. It was all nudism because this was the 80s.
The nudist
And we didn't,
colony.
you know what? People bitch about all the labels, and they keep on fucking making more labels. And then us old people are like, back in my day, we just called you all fucking naked people. So, yeah, we stripped down at the dinner table after discussing it. Now, my buddy Ron, he had a big old hawk nose, and he had hairy goat legs. I mean, no cloven hooves, but hairy goat legs. Now, the other young lady, who I'm not friends with, so I'm not going to mention her by name, especially since she has a rare name. By the way, what just... So anyhow, we're all at the dinner table, we're discussing this, and we decide to strip down at the dinner table. And we do, and that is the longest we have ever sat at a table after a meal was done, ever. Which, the great part is... As dudes, all our nakedness is below eye level. Hers rested right at the edge of the table. And Ron ever wisely went, referring back to what brought me to the story, is he went, Travis, just look. Just take a look, get a good look, get it over with, because it's going to happen. And it will. And that's the point.
It will. Yeah,
Yeah.
it will.
It's just like when you meet a new person and they have an interesting face, you're going to look at their face. If they have big, muscular shoulders, you're going to look at their big, muscular shoulders. Whether it's a woman or a man, it doesn't fucking matter. And especially if it's not something we're used to seeing every day. So don't sweat it if you look. Sweat it if you stare and drool and can't speak. Then you should be a little worried.
Yeah, you need to be a little wary.
Because there is a place and time where that behavior is appropriate. It's not there. It's not at a nudism or Oh no, well, Trin, eventually we all stood up and started doing dishes, and yeah, we all look. Well, there's a reason we sat at the table so long, Trin. By the way, for anybody who can't see, especially if this is on a replay or whatever, Trin asked, "Weren't you embarrassed?" I would have been embarrassed. Yeah, we all sat at that table for a length of time, but then you get up, and there is about 3 minutes of embarrassment. Then you're done.
Yeah, it's surprisingly enough. I remember my early first experiences, first being afraid you're going to get the Woody. Surprisingly enough, you don't get a Woody. It's like,
And if you do, there are now guidelines in place for such things. Like,
yeah,
you always carry a towel with you because you don't want
always.
to put your sweaty ass crack on somebody's goddamn furniture. So, with that towel, it is a simple matter to flip it across your lap.
Hmm.
Because boners
Yep.
happen, motherfuckers.
I was at a nudist resort once. We were sitting at breakfast, and I had gotten into the habit. I didn't even carry a big towel with me. I only carried a towel big
Like a hand
enough
towel?
for my
Okay.
ass. Okay, and it had a little zipper pocket to carry money and ID in it.
Oh,
That was
nice.
all I ever carried with me. And my wife and I and another friend of ours were sitting at breakfast at a nudist resort one morning, and we're talking about our bosses. We're not even talking about anything sexual. He decided to stand up. I'm like, what the fuck?
So, now I'm guessing, and to be really blunt, enjoy this, guys. Not a raging hard on, just a bit of a Woody, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, so now you're in fight or flight mode. It's like, what do I do? Is somebody's going to catch me and kick me out of here because they think I'm a sexual pervert or something? Now what do I do? Okay, so adrenaline kicks in, and that doesn't help any.
No, and that's what I was about to say is if you are a male and you get a hard on, panic mode actually pumps more blood through your system. It doesn't
Right.
make it go down. If you're a woman, well, your nipples pucker. Woohoo! Way to go!
So I just sit there and kept drinking my coffee and kept talking, and things finally worked themselves out.
Put a little hat, some sunglasses on them. Kevin asks, Ed, do you get a bad back carrying a towel the size of a marquee?
That's why I just started carrying the little one, Kevin,
That's right.
because, yeah,
That's right.
wasn't going to work.
Consider poor taste to use it to carry the towel.
Yes,
Uh,
that is considered poor taste.
is it really? A Trin, fair question. Yes and no.
Uh,
Guys get boners on occasion.
on occasion, but it's most nudist resorts, as Travis said, they have rules. If you get a boner, don't be walking around like, yeah, look at this, you want a piece
Right.
of this, and it's really not noticed because it's like most people will take the towel, cover themselves. If
You
they're out
sit
laying
down.
out sunning, they'll
Right.
just roll over, whatever.
But
So
this is really where the rule of when applying suntan lotion or anything, more than 3 strokes, you're playing with it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And Trin, by the way, teenage boys get boners a lot more often because of chemical changes in their bodies.
Right.
And by teenage boys, I really mean 12 to 22. Because puberty lasts a lot longer than we fucking think.
And when it comes to nudism, most seasoned nudists, and I will say seasoned, I guess, you've become so used to it socially that if you get a boner, it's usually an instance such as mine, not because this beautiful woman walked by. It's something that happens to men that we can't control sometimes. So, it's not like
I also want to
I
say
got a boner
this.
because a beautiful girl walked by.
If
Yeah.
you're sitting there and somebody else gets a boner and they casually drop their towel across their lap, your social duty is don't stare, don't point it out.
Right.
Now, if
Right.
it's me and Ed sitting there with nobody else around, absolutely appropriate for me to make a fucking dick joke.
Yeah.
Whatever. But no, it's just like somebody who has a zit. Look, we all see it, but we don't need to point that shit out. And you definitely don't need to reach over and make the white stuff come out. Fabian, how are you? Good. I'm sorry to hear about your mother. I am in the same boat as you. Mine has not passed yet, but should be passing in the next week or two. So I totally get it, my friend. It's hopefully you and your mother are close. You have a lifetime of awesome memories, and you get to cry because you loved her and loved being around her, as opposed to the other option, which is you don't give a damn. Trust me, it is better to have that than nothing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, Ed speaking from experience right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it is not right now, but down the road, it is a beautiful thing to think back and remember. So, we are discussing nudism and naturalism. So, Ed, what exactly is so? Naturalists or naturism? Wait, naturalist, naturism.
Naturism.
Um, that's scientific or naturalist?
Well, and like I was, saying before, to me there really is no difference.
Mm-hmm.
You had a movement there for a while, as you said. People were just naked; they were nudists,
Right.
and then I think there became such a bad stigma attached to it that people wanted to express it in a different way. So they started using the word naturism to show that we're getting closer to nature and so forth and so on. To me, it's the same goddamn thing. Really no difference.
Fabian asks, is Ed number 13? I don't understand what that means. Ed, do you understand the reference?
I don't mean to brag.
I mean, if we're not going metric, then 13 may apply if we're using standard. But on the other hand, if you're talking about the 13th disciple like Rufus, no, Ed's taller.
No, yeah, I'm taller.
And I don't
If
think...
you're talking about something else, is that feet or inches?
Yeah. God. Oh, yeah. So with... Now, as much as you and I have both experienced, and I'm going to go with nudism. I'm just sticking with nudism.
Sure.
Because that's what we both came up with. Do you think nudism actually brings you any fucking closer to nature at all?
Do I think it brings me closer to nature? No.
Okay.
What I will say is experiencing nature while nude, for me, is a more spiritual experience.
Okay. I don't think I would want to go camping in the nude. I like my shoes and socks, and I like things not leaving crevices and cracks open for things to find or moist areas. For me. Now, sitting around the pool outside or at the jacuzzi on the back porch, that's different. That's very different.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Fabian says, asks the question, Fabian, for a guy as smart as you, why can't you use some punctuation, my friend? What is that? Oh, is this the guy you wanted me to tell that I'm 6'11"? Kevin is social assassin. Kevin is 6'8". Ed is black. Fabian has something in common with both of you. You guys can decide what it is. So, that's that. So, tell me more about the spiritual connotations or connection.
People that I've met that have that freaky nature spirit thing going on, but may not necessarily be interested in nudism. When I've talked to them about nudism, naturism, whatever, one of the things I say, there is a completely different feeling when your body is kissed by the sun, caressed by the wind, and cleansed by the rain. It's different wearing clothes than when not wearing clothes. It is somewhat spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels good.
Hold on, holding my lighter here.
Clean it, spray it,
There we go.
feel it.
Mm-hmm. So, I can definitely see that. It's, when you watch people walk around in the sun, Kevin, I will get to that question in just a moment. Oh, you know what? Let's go to their questions and see what I'm saying. Let's start with Kevin there. He says, "Hey Ed, is there sometimes a sexual quote behind closed doors element to naturist gatherings, or is it a separation between nudity and sexualism more taboo?"
Okay, openly, most nudist resorts do not advocate uh, a sexual element of any kind, even behind closed doors, unless it's you, your spouse, whoever you come there with, because they don't want that stigma attached to their resort.
Which I think is wise, especially if it's a family-friendly environment.
And exactly, it is a family-friendly environment. People bring their children,
Right.
participate in family nudism, so forth and so on.
But even if it's
But
not, you
how?
still don't want that. You don't want to be
Yeah,
a pickup club.
yeah. But however, just like anything else in the world, sure, there's that behind closed doors sexual element.
That's no
Let's,
different from going to the office.
yeah, going to the office, going to any other club, and even nudist club. I have known people in the swinging lifestyle.
Yeah,
That's the only place they meet is at the nudist club. They hang out during the day doing the regular nudist thing. At night, they go back to one of the rooms and they have their swinging
I
party.
tell
So
you what,
yes, it
though,
is there.
quite often, when you look at an all naked body, it is all natural, which, yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. But quite often, once you add lingerie or the things that prop this up or cup that or accent
Hmm.
this or show that off, that's sexy.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
I say that often.
yeah,
Clothing is much more sexual than
yeah,
total nudity.
yeah,
If someone is just nude doing their regular household duties, taking
right.
a walk or whatever, there's nothing sexual about
No,
that.
they're a
But
naked person
you add
doing
that
something.
element of the lingerie or the French maid outfit and
Yeah.
go into the kitchen, it's a whole different thing
And you
there.
look great in the French maid outfit, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
You
just the
remembered that.
apron, not much else. Now, Trin asks, why is there a law on no nudism if it's natural? We could do a whole show on that one question by itself. But we got
Yeah.
short answers. Ed, go ahead.
Control, control. The church, control.
Hmm.
It's that simple. I mean, to go any deeper than that would have to be a whole show.
Trin, this all goes into history. It all goes
Yeah.
into Puritanism, and as he said, control of the church, which then bled over into governments, etc. And we just had a town a week ago, Fort Collins, Colorado, I believe, finally freed the
Yep.
nipple, which means women can walk around as topless as any man can and not get in trouble. And here's what they found when they have cities or states or counties or whatever that allow toplessness, nothing changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Uh, New York has been a topless state since like the 1970s. There's a
Hmm.
regular book club.
Except New
It's
York City, which only came out about 10 years, 12 years ago, something like that.
No, actually, New York City, it was pushed. The entire state has been topless since about the 1960s, 70s, and a bunch of women actually pushed the issue in New York City. And
Okay.
I think they call themselves the Outdoor Topless Co-ed Pulp Fiction Book Club or something, some grad long freaking name. And they meet regularly in the parks and walk the streets of New York topless to promote toplessness for women. And yeah, the Colorado thing that Travis just mentioned, that suit
1992.
came up. Yeah, okay. That lawsuit came up probably about a year ago,
Hmm.
and it went before the circuit court. And as the circuit court was ruling, what city was it again, Travis?
Most recently, Fort
In
Collins.
Colorado.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fort Collins,
Fort
I believe, where my
Collins
brother lives.
backed away. So basically, the decision of the rule not only affected, excuse me, not circuit court, it was federal court.
Hmm.
It was a federal court of appeals. So it not only affected the state of Colorado, it was Utah and two other states as well because of the size of federal courts. So technically, in those four states, it's now legal for women to walk around topless anywhere a man would.
Nice. It's, hi, Andrea. Yes, you came in yelling.
Is
I
she
can't
naked?
hide the fact.
I'm sorry. There's cats everywhere.
We're loud. We have them. People are shouting your name already. There's like 50 people just yelling your name.
I don't know what
Hey,
camera you're on. I
Here, I'll
can't
show you
see.
this one. We've got this Kevin, we'll get to your question in a second. I got boobs. Well, I mean, so does she. I'm touching her boobs this time instead of my own. We're doing naturalism, nudism.
Baby shark, baby shark.
You're welcome
Hi,
to
Baby
join
Shark.
us, or you're
Is
welcome
that Baby
to...
Shark, or did somebody just play that?
Elizabeth played that. Chris was on earlier, but he does have a show to run, I believe, any second now it should be going. So that's that. Let me get to Kevin's question. We are, Andrea, as I said...
There's chip. They don't sell them here.
What are they? Tell her.
I don't know the Winkers brand
Elizabeth, she likes paprika Pringles.
or Walker's brand. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey Jake, how are you? Good to see you. We're discussing naturalism and nudism, and we're about to answer questions or comments here
Should
by...
I get nude-ism?
Yes, please. There's no cat cam. If you go there, you're totally allowed on Twitch because you're not on Twitch. Let me answer Kevin's question. Jake, once again, good to see you. Thank you for swinging by. Kevin says, I wondered, based on the fact that people who are sexually relaxed and experimental strike me as the same people who would be comfortable naked on a social level. Makes sense.
Maybe.
Here's the thing about that, though. You will find lifestylers, swingers, who are comfortable on the nudist level and going to nudist resorts and everything. But nudists within themselves tend to look down their nose at swingers.
Which
Because
is
they feel...
weird.
Yeah,
they don't
but
go hand
they
in
feel
hand.
like it harms the nudist movement.
Which,
So,
in my opinion, Elizabeth, no. Paprika is not. I'll discuss that another time. And as for the so much for a surprise, when I get a text message when I'm in the middle of running a show, I scan it. And it didn't say this is meant to be a surprise. So I handed it to her to look. So there we go. It's no, it's not. It's not prawn. It's paprika, which is just an herb. Popular in deviled eggs and Indian food, and I guess some British food because of the Indian thing.
If you get any British chips, I'm sorry. This is so off the subject.
Well,
But
welcome to
even
the tavern.
Even nudists enjoy. They're not Winkers chips. They're Walker's chips.
Walkers. Yeah. Oh, they have like
Oh.
ham and Swiss.
Holy
They have like
shit,
fucking
they're so
sandwich
good.
flavors. Kevin, you need to send us some of those. Kevin's here.
Hi, Kevin.
Kevin and Trin and Gary and Jake
From State
and
Farm.
Elizabeth.
and Elizabeth.
So, okay.
Yes?
I'm going to talk Kevin now. Kevin, the onion ring, state flavored like onion ring things. Oh my god! Send me a price. I will send you money for those. And the Wanker chips.
Jake, type exclamation point me, please, so everybody can see. Jake, congratulations on hitting affiliate. Don't forget to throw those free
Oh, good
bits or
job.
resubscribe, especially since it's half price. Here's to you, Jake. Well done,
Affiliates
man.
where you can get bits, right?
It is. I can go throw bits. Check
Good
out his
job.
channel. He does a lot of Minecraft and other stuff that people find very relaxing. Okay, now we're going to get back on topic, but we're at the tavern, so it happens where we wander off. Orange Club says, Kevin, getting like gold dust over here. The onion ring thing's no worry. Care package soon, I promise. No pressure, Kev. Man, we know how it is when you got to spend $40 damn to ship a couple potato chips over here. What? Did Jay fuck off? He was here a second ago. Did he already bail on us? Thank you, Ed. Don't forget to use the subway, guys, through the end of the month. Get me that extra 10%. No cost to you.
X500.
I didn't see it.
Oh, it might be gone then. I could. Okay, I don't know what
Yeah.
happened there, Jay. She's trying to give you some points. Okay, you got the points. There you go. Now you could play with her. But thank you, Ed. Appreciate that, man. Okay. Back to the topic. Ed, what's your favorite part of being naked? Public, private, what activity, etc.?
No laundry. Don't have to do any fucking laundry. Don't have to do any laundry. Don't have to decide what I want to wear. you know, and yeah, just get out of bed and chill. But unfortunately, I can't go to work that way.
Gary, thanks for letting me know on that. That subway icon might be gone, guys. So I appreciate using it while it was available because, hey, it was free bits that you guys didn't have to purchase or earn, etc. It was good while it lasted. And now, screw you, Twitch! But it was nice. Okay, so is that it? Just no laundry? Is that why you went into this? You're like, I can wash less stuff if I take off my pants more often.
Well, wash less stuff, and I've always been comfortable. I've always been comfortable in my skin. Now, granted, 30 years ago when I first started nudism, my skin looked a whole lot better on me than it does now. But even so, as things have changed, I've still been comfortable in my skin and relaxed. Just relaxed. Ah, wow. Ain't
Damn it.
gonna no worries or nothing. Seems like
Interrupt.
almost.
Hogsley just lost his subscription in the past 20 minutes. I'm going to have to go gift that damn bot a sub just so he can do the icons when he does his commands. Damn it. Whatever. I'll fix that in a little bit. The silver fuck. Captain Fuck. What the fuck did I miss it? You guys are like, fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck.
I don't know.
Emote, whatever, fuck jargon. Don't call me fuck jargon. Captain Fucko, the silver fuck. Oh, I got it now. I caught up.
Okay, glad you understand.
It's well, basically Kevin is taking fuck as a title.
Okay.
Anyhow, see, I started, I guess, in my teens, but alone. Now that sounds really weird, but basically,
No, and I'll explain that.
in my room by myself, I started sleeping naked. And when nobody was home, I was very comfortable walking naked down the hall in my own home. Mm-hmm. I had no urge to go running across the yard because, frankly, I instinctually like laws in society. I feel they're helpful guidelines into not fucking each other over. Okay, we can have a whole discussion on how that's bullshit, but you guys get what I mean. Rules here in the tavern or outside in the real world, they're helpful. They make sure we don't turn into complete schmucks. But yeah, that's where it started. And then at 19 with my two roommates, and never once. The worst thing I had happen with my two roommates is it was one time my buddy, Ron, wasn't feeling well, and he had an ass drizzle on my fucking sleeping bag. My military grade, negative 30 degree rated, or some shit like that. Yeah, he was really apologetic and embarrassed, which means you can't get too mad at him, especially if he's cleaning that shit up, literally, by himself and I don't have to do it. Then you roll on. And that was before Febreze existed. Febreze, the white trash dry clean. So, you said you wanted to explain that a little bit?
Sure, because Trent asked earlier,
yeah,
social nudism. Right. So, and you bring up that story, and for most people, it starts at home, and there is a term for that, home nudist, either in their room by themselves when the rest of the family is gone, or something of that nature. They are just nude at home, and they're never nude in front of anyone else. Or they may just be nude within the family element. The other members of the family may or may not practice it. In those cases, some have started to refer to that as family nudism. And then the movement from there is, of course, social nudism. You're nude in front of other people, whether they be strangers or people you know. But what I found going to nudist resorts, even though you may start out as strangers, you don't stay strangers long. You have to find something to actually have a conversation with people about, other than looking at their clothing and figuring out who they are from the way they're dressed.
A couple of things. First of all, and this could just be my little twisted mind, I would find it home nudism with the whole family, including children, I would find that more questionable than social nudism with the whole family or not. Because if you're like, I just want to be alone naked with my children, little creepy. If you're like, no,
Well,
I want
but
them to appreciate.
that's our Western mind.
It is.
If
It
you're
is.
just
But
at home naked with your children, then something's wrong with you. That's our Western mind.
well, looking at U.S. culture in particular, because I cannot include Canada in this, because speaking to my female Canadian friends and how they're not necessarily scared of being sexually assaulted when they walk home drunk from a bar, whereas American women, that is a real concern every time, even if you're not drunk. So it could be more of an American, the aggressive American mindset where,
Right.
predator and prey. Now let's turn to something a little less really shadowy, dark, and go to Kevin's comment. Think my large stature puts me off naturism. By the way, I have hugged Kevin, and if we were nudists, that hug would have been. Consider my head comes up to like his nipples. Yeah, I totally get cock on the breastbone. Think of my large stature puts me off naturism on anything more than an occasional basis. Really, Drop, you're going to show up right up when I'm talking about dick on my nips. But we have a lot of concealed beaches, and many of us islanders have probably been naked more often than the average Joe. Have slept naked all my life since I had the choice, though. Here's what else. It might be naked now. Okay, good job, Kevin. As I get older, and this is TMI, but this is one of the discussions I think our fucking society needs to have. As you get older, your body does things that it didn't used to do. Or it stops doing things that it used to do.
Oh, yeah.
I will wear underwear to bed every night. Not because there's a problem, because if there ever is a problem, I don't want it to be a problem. So any thoughts on that, Ed? What Kevin said or what I said, or both?
Since he is a man of great stature, yes, I understand what he's saying. He probably would stand out, no matter dressed or undressed. Kevin, you're going to stand out because you're a man of great stature. But
he's going to stand head and shoulders above the rest.
above the rest. But nudists really do come in all shapes, sizes, physical deformities. I've seen it all at nudist resorts. So you wouldn't be too much of a standout, my friend.
No, I don't think so at all. I think it'd be just fine. And like I said, when hugging, especially if you got like that 4'11" woman, well, enjoy that.
Interesting, you hugging. I saw that in a nudist forum. I'm on a couple of nudist forums, and a woman was asking if it was okay to hug friends while you're nude, because she had just ventured into social nudism, and she was noticing that she went to people's house parties. They would hug even though they're nude, and I'm like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, if you don't believe there's something wrong with what you're doing, and you normally hug people,
right,
why wouldn't you hug them while you're
here's
nude?
A fact, Ed. You and I have hugged on many occasions.
Oh, yeah.
And we have never, dressed or undressed, we have never bumped junk.
Right.
Even if it was one of us was hard and didn't tell the other one at the time, which I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying, and the same thing for a woman. When you hug a woman, clothes or not, you get a little titty pressed on you. Or a big titty, depending on the woman. And you don't think anything more of it when naked. Well, I guess you shouldn't. You shouldn't think anything more of it when you're naked versus when you're dressed. Again, I think I would be more aroused by a itsy bitsy teensy weensy yellow polka dot bikini than some naked titties. Especially since gravity is like, hold on while I take the thrill out of naked titties for you.
Right.
And also, now, by the way, if a woman is pierced, I am going to look at her nipples. for more than 3 seconds. Hopefully do it, not to make somebody uncomfortable, but it's like a tattoo. I want to take a moment and look. And I don't care that tattoo's on a guy or a girl or on a shoulder or, the mouse right next to the pussy. Which, that's a great old joke.
Another good point you brought up. Some resorts will not allow nipple piercings or Jacob's ladders or vaginal piercings or so forth and so on, because they say it brings too much attention to those areas. And I have a problem with that. Maybe I'm too much of a purist, but to me, I feel like the point of nudism is to say the nude body is no different than any other part of the body. A nipple's no different than your throat or whatever. So what's wrong with a nipple being pierced or Jacob's ladder or so forth and so on? Because
I'm going to admire a woman's earrings.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Nose piercing, or whatever.
A
If
medallion
it's a joy
she's
that
wearing,
interests me. And frankly, if you have your nipple pierced and it's a dumbbell, I'm going to go, oh, pierced nipples. Sweet. If you have a really cool shield with a bar, I'm going to be like, can I check out that jewelry real quick? Because that's fucking cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it is, again, it's not sexual. By the way, Trin, to clarify, when you say you can't stand people who pierce their genitals, are you talking vaginal and penile piercings, or are you talking nipple also?
Why?
Yeah, and that's a fair question.
Because,
her next comment, by the way, it would hurt like hell.
Well.
So that could be why she can't stand it, because she imagines the pain. But
it's not that bad.
No.
Because I've had everything pierced.
Yeah.
It's personal preference, but why would you hate it if somebody else did it? That's what I'm saying.
Care to join us? Or are you just passing through?
Just passing through.
Okay.
I heard.
Comfy clothes now?
I heard.
Now
nipples.
you're joining us for dildos in 2 hours, right?
Maybe. But I heard nipples and shields and yeah.
Vaginal and penile. Okay. So yeah, and a Jacob's ladder, by the way, is, well, depending. There is a Jacob's ladder that goes up the back.
Yeah,
but
up the back from the sack all the way up.
Well, no, I'm talking about the back, where it's like the different. Corset thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's one kind of Jacob's ladder, but there's also the one that goes up the penis. And they might have different terms for them now, and I haven't been in the culture recently where I know that now they have separate terms.
Well, I know a piercer. And it's so crazy because you can bleed to death with that, so you gotta be really committed to it.
Kevin says, apparently, it's only about 6 out of 10 on the pain scale regarding piercings at most. I have a lot of pierced friends. He does. He has some fucking amazing pierced friends who, by the way, crazy motherfuckers, but really cool people. Really good people.
Yeah, I saw a new toilet selfie from one of them on Instagram.
The worst thing about it is how often they want to show everyone. That is no difference than somebody doing CrossFit or quit smoking. Didn't mean I can't stand people. I just meant I don't know how people can do that. Trin, that's a good clarification right there. Because there are people that will totally judge you for having certain things pierced. And sometimes it's as simple as a guy with one earring. Or a woman. There are whole cultures out there that will judge a woman for having her ears pierced. She is now a fucking whore. And by that, I look back to the Puritanism, puritanical. The Amish or do they frown upon piercings? Even ears?
I think so.
I think so too. I could be wrong, guys. And by the way, I'm not saying judge them for judging others either. Let them think what the fuck they want. They're not attacking people in the streets for it. They're just like, no, don't do that. That's wrong. Okay, whatever. You think what you want. In the 80s, I had a single drop earring and used to get called... Oh, see, it blocks that word. In the 80s, if you're a guy, your piercing had to be in the left ear. As it went on, by the late 80s, early 90s, you could have both ears pierced, but you needed the left ear, if you're straight, pierced more than the right ear. And now, it just doesn't fucking matter. You pierce what you want and shut the fuck up.
To go back to what
Yeah, go ahead.
Kevin said earlier, though, about friends with piercings, the worst thing about it is how often they want to show them to everyone. Now, there is another side of that, okay? Is how often when friends find out you have odd piercings, um, how much they want you to. Can I see?
How often? No, what do you have pierced?
Well, I don't have anything pierced, and I won't say odd piercings, but I remember when my wife got her nipples
Right.
pierced. It's like all of her female friends that considered it or were thinking of it, they wanted to see.
Totally pervy. Did they want to touch?
um, there were two or three that asked if they
Okay.
could actually touch it.
See, and on one hand, it all depends if it's a porn vibe or a curiosity vibe, because it
No,
is valid to
it
go.
was it wasn't porn.
Okay,
Yeah, it
then
wasn't
there is a
porn.
validity to going. Can I touch that? Now, if you're like, can I see how it clicks against my teeth? Okay, stop or yes. Either one's a viable answer. Insert whatever word you want, like the prejudices. Yeah, Kev, I agree. Um, and as many people in my lifetime that has asked me if I'm gay, including just up to a couple weeks ago at work. Yeah, it's. And here's the deal, guys. Let me teach you something about women's fashion. It all came from men. Now, that is not
Yep.
bragging that men did it first. I'm saying men went to powdered wigs, men went to high heels, men went to piercings before women did.
Mhm.
Women later followed, and men left the trend, and then women got stuck. Oh, makeup also. Men first.
Mhm.
Rich, by the way,
Yep.
for all these things. Um, it was the aristocracy and the rich stuck up bastards who were trying to stand out and be the freak show, but in the good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now in our culture, almost worldwide, not really worldwide, Prince Albert, for fuck's sake. It's I tell you what, if my Prince Albert gets stuck in a can, something went horribly wrong. For those of you that don't know, there's an old crank call. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Which was a type of tobacco. And then when the person would say yes, you go, you better let him out before he suffocates. Prince Albert is also now slang for a penile piercing, all the way through the dick. So, if my Prince Albert gets stuck in a can, it's either an anal sex reference, slamming the toilet lid on your dick, or I just fucked a Coke can. Anything else on that one? Oh, hold on. Now, we got about 10 more minutes on this topic, and then we're going to take a break. So, for all our viewers, make sure you hang out. If you guys are watching this in a rerun after the fact, check out the other episodes or the YouTube channel or whatever. I do want to let everybody know next we are bringing Aaron in. We're keeping Ed, and we're going to discuss the difference between being a man and being a gentleman. So that will be a fun thing, and Andrea will be popping in and out as Andrea decides she wants to.
Mhm.
So for the rest of this, any other questions real quick? Now would be the time to throw them in the chat. And any other points you want to cover on this, Ed, before we just ramble and tangent the hell out of the next 10 minutes?
We can just ramble and tangent. I'll address the embarrassment part real quick because I know Trent
And then
brought
I
that
do
up.
have a topic also.
Okay. Don't be embarrassed. Yep, love yourself.
Yeah. Or at
That
least
is a big
don't
part
be
of the
embarrassed
nudism
about
movement.
yourself.
Love yourself, love others, accept yourself, accept others.
I
We
think
all have
accept is a
flaws.
better word than love.
Well, sure. Well, yeah, you'll get in trouble loving others. But anyway,
I didn't even mean that, but yes, you're right.
we all have flaws. If it's ever run through your head, take your clothes off one day and try it. You might like it.
Yeah. And if
Just
you
go ahead
do
and
it
try it.
with people who either A, are brand new, you know what?
Mhm.
Have this discussion right here tonight. This discussion all over again with whoever, experienced or not in nudism and naturalism, naturism. Have this right before you guys get undressed. So everybody knows, Trin, we're going to look at your titties. Trin, you're going to check out my junk. It's going to happen. It's fine. And by the way, gentlemen, quite often they're small when you're not aroused. It's It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't
okay.
fluff it where anybody can see it. Other than that, Ed, if somebody was interested into trying this, what steps would you suggest from the word go to I'm a nudist or a naturalist or naturist?
Um,
Naturist.
if they just want to try it at home, go ahead and try it at home. There's no big, you know, uh, that removes all the judgment from other people.
Mm-hmm.
So just do it at home. If you think you might want to go to a resort or something, it may be easier for you to go to a resort by yourself than it may be in the company of others because we all feel like those strangers, I'm never going to see them again. But you might be surprised. You might see if you're in college, you might see your college professor at the nudist resort. But
Mm-hmm. True story. And you'll be
if
surprised who you're like,
right,
oh. And first, this should not be your first reaction. Fuck, I know them. Your first reaction should be, I fucking know them. And
one of my first experiences in social nudism, I met a court clerk, and she was telling us the story how you're always afraid that you're going to run into somebody. She went to a nudist resort for the first time, and she's in the pool, and she takes her little swim, and just as she's getting ready to pull herself up out of the pool, there's the judge that presides in her court standing
with his mallet hanging straight down. So how'd that go?
Well, she got out, and it was the old, like we do stupidly, what are you doing here? Well, what do you think I'm doing here? But she said she asked the question anyway, so they just had a little conversation and went their way.
And by the way, don't be afraid of that conversation. Don't be afraid of saying,
Yeah.
if you do see somebody you know, to go, what are you doing here? Because it opens discussion. And that is the most important thing in life, whether it's a personal relationship or a professional relationship. Okay, Trin, we'll look forward to you coming back here in a few minutes.
Well,
Anything,
she said she realized that it wasn't like they were going to get back in the courtroom on Monday morning, and he was going to say, "I saw you hanging out at the nudist resort this
great
weekend."
titties. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Man, Sammy Davis. He was a nudist. I don't actually fucking know that. I'm just making. I think he should have been a nudist. I suspect he was nude with Frank and Dean more than once. And then they sent the whole chorus line back downstairs afterwards. Sammy Davis might have been one of the first professional entertainers who said, "Where's the white women?" Really? You're not even going to support me with a golf laugh on that one? God damn it.
Maybe.
I'm a racist, aren't I? I told the story of why I got this shirt, which is a Black Panther shirt, if anybody can't tell. I told that story to a black woman at work today. And I don't think she didn't realize it was a Black Panther shirt as I told the story about my neighbor, and the reason I got it is because they're fucking racist. So I got a Black Panther shirt to go out and mow the lawn in.
Oh.
And I told this story, and she's just staring at me, and I'm like, because my neighbor's a racist, and it pisses her off. And she's like, oh! And I'm like, oh my God, I did something wrong in that story.
Wow.
I like it uncomfortable. Oh. So let's see here, guys. Don't be afraid of your body is really the bottom line here when it comes to naturalism, nudism, or whatever. Is don't be ashamed of yourself. Don't worry about that extra 15 moles. Don't worry about that little gut or flab. Don't worry if you got little titties, big dick, little dick. And by the way, there are some men embarrassed about large equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it stands out. If it stands up, they put the towel over it. But, yeah, it's don't worry about it. We're all built different, and that's part of the beauty. Not sexuality, but beauty. And, as Ed said, yeah, you might still discuss coach purses while you're buck-ass naked, but you're probably going to talk about something a little more real.
Oh, yeah.
The odds are for it.
Or just drink and get drunk while you're naked. We've done that plenty of times too here. So.
Yeah. Oh, second step, after doing it at home where you're comfortable, consider, as Ed said, by the way, I would recommend going to a social nudist event before having a house party or a home party with other nudist friends.
Unless you have nudist friends that you trust that what they are practicing is nudism and not the lifestyle. But yeah.
Right. And even if they are nudist, clarify it with them if you're worried about it. Ed, you said you're having a party, people are going to get naked. Is it a sex party, Ed, or is it just a naked thing?
Yeah.
And Ed will be like, come here, I'll tell you. I'm like, stop. I'm titillated. But seriously, ask. And if anybody does give you shit about it, they're doing it wrong. So, now if they make a dumbass joke like me, then they just cover with comedy.
I used to really promote clubs, and I'll try to get this in the next 2 minutes. There are two major nudist organizations in the United States: the American Association of Nude Recreation and the Nature Society. And I used to really promote clubs when I first got into social nudism. I don't so much anymore because I came to the realization that it's all about money for them. There's a fee attached to getting naked.
Right.
And to me, that's like, why should I have to pay to get naked?
Right.
So any social nudism that I participate in nowadays is usually at someone's home among select friends or something, because I can't see paying to get naked.
Another point, if you're like, well, I'm going to a naked event, where do I carry things? Fanny packs still happen there. Also,
yes, they do.
Passport pouches are wonderful for this. They go around the neck. Normally, you put them under your shirt so somebody doesn't rob you. But it's easy enough to throw your wallet in there, your ID and credit card, your car keys, whatever. So there's that for everybody. I think we're good on this topic. Any closing thoughts on this, Ed, or shall I roll the closing music?
I'm good. We can go.
Guys, don't forget to hang out. We are coming back in just a couple minutes. We're going to grab somebody else, hit the next topic. Be right back. Let's dance ourselves out.
Thanks for joining us in the discussion of shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is.
I'm going to take
Don't
5.
forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.